Good morning, everybody. Today I'd like to talk to you guys about the 5 love languages. And I'd like to start off with a question. Have you ever found yourself in a relationship where you know how much you care about the other person, and it just doesn't really seem like it's clicking to them? Like, you know that you'd go out of your way to deliver them lunch at work, or you know that you'd go out of your way to bring them flowers on their birthday, or get them a cup of coffee, or anything. Well, what the problem might be is that you guys are speaking different love languages. The different love languages are different to each personality. And the 5 of them are quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Now, after my speech, you'll be able to list and describe the 5 love languages. And to credit, the 5 love languages is a book by Dr. Gary Chapman. I would highly recommend reading it. It goes way more in depth than I will be able to convey in this speech. The first love language is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation is expressing how you feel to your partner with words and letting them know how you feel. These can be, an example of this is words of validation, letting them know where you stand in their life, letting them know how much value that they hold and how meaningful they are to you. And another example of words of affirmation is gratitude, letting them know how much you appreciate their actions, how much you appreciate their presence, and how much you appreciate what they do for you. Compliments are also a really great tool when your partner's love language is words of affirmation. Letting them hear compliments lets them know how you feel about them, and it makes them feel cared for and loved. The second love language that I'd like to talk to you about is quality time. Well, the importance of quality time is that it lets your partner know that they are your #1 priority at that point in time. So everybody knows that we all have busy lives, and when you're involved with your partner, a bunch of stuff can get in the way, such as family, work, school, personal interests, anything. So when you really take the time to be with your partner with no distractions, no cell phones, no TV show on, just you and your partner, this lets your partner know that they are your #1 priority. Examples of quality time together include making dinner together, grocery shopping, walking the dog, going to the movies, or getting coffee. Really, anything. That's one of the best things about quality time, is that it covers a huge umbrella of activities that don't necessarily need to be considered a date. The third love language I'd like to talk to you guys about is gifts. And gifts, it can seem like a very superficial love language, because it's like, okay, like you only feel loved by me when I want to buy something for you, and that's not how it is. Cost has nothing to do with the gifts in this aspect. Gifts let your partner know that you were thinking of them at that point in time, even when you guys were apart, and have the need to, or feel, but care for them enough to want to provide for them and want to give them something enough. So yeah. Examples of gifts as a love language can be small souvenirs from a trip that you went on, their favorite candy when they're feeling sick, a cup of coffee, or even flowers. The fourth love language I'd like to talk to you guys about is acts of service. Acts of service let your partner know that you care about them enough to want to ease their burden of responsibility. Examples of acts of service can be taking out the trash, bringing them coffee in bed, or opening the car door. The fifth and final love language I'd like to talk about is physical touch. And physical touch does not always mean sexual. Physical touch can be expressed through holding hands, cuddling, and hugs. An example of physical touch that will let your partner be clear and how you feel about them is a public display of affection. Public displays of affection shows that that your partner is your priority at that point in time, and that you're proud to be with them in public, and it provides comfort, a feeling of comfort for your partner. So one of the main points in the book by Gary Chapman is that we all have a love tank, and this love tank is filled by expressing and receiving our love languages. So when you have an empty love tank, you're more likely to have an insecure relationship filled with jealousy and despite for your partner. And when you have a full love tank, you feel very secure and happy in your relationship. So to fill your partner's love tank, you need to figure out what your partner's love language is. And please don't assume that their love language, because this is just another example of miscommunication. So step 1, find out your partner's love language. Step 2, act upon that. Take the small steps that needed regularly to fill your partner's love tank. And when your partner has a full love tank, they will be definitely more susceptible to reciprocate their love for you. So in conclusion, I'd like, step 1 is learn your own love language. Find out what your partner does that makes you feel the most loved and cared for. Step 2 is learn your partners by asking or figuring it out with them. And step 3 is to make an effort to express that love language. Thank you guys.